Good Sunday morning to all of you out there in YouTube land. This is Magiabella, and I am your Sunday host for the Biophilic Alternative, and I am coming today to do a hoodoo spell. And in this hoodoo spell, it is it's one of my go-to spells, which is it's not a revenge spell and it's not a harming spell. It's simply a turn things around spell. So all you need for this spell work is an empty jar. I prefer the jar not to be too large. So this is a jar that dip came in, and of course I keep all my jars because I'll be disposing of this jar after I am done. So all you need is a jar, preferably not a terribly large jar, but you do want it to have like a straight edge, because what you're going to do is be placing a petition inside the jar that you tape in. So this is a perfect jar for that. Even a small mason jar would work as well. You'll need a pair of scissors. You'll need a writing pen. I'm using black, but you can also use in the color of the petition of the situation that you need to turn around. You can use an appropriate color. I am using my tape dispenser, they're called a tape runner by Elmer's, but you can use Scotch tape or any other form of taping that you have. And the only other thing you need is ammonia, straight household ammonia. It's $1 at the dollar store, or sometimes it's even as little as 69 cents or so at the grocery store. And a white plain piece of paper to write your petition on. Now, the first thing that you're going to be doing is making the paper. It needs to be as around as the jar. So this is a perfect piece of paper done longwise, and I've already made a mark. That was the halfway point. So what you're going to be doing is cutting the paper like that. Okay, and then you're going to be writing the situation that you want reversed. Now, in this kind of hoodoo spell, it's going to be done a little bit different than most petitions. Most petitions, you write what you want to have happen. In this case, you write out the situation as it stands at this moment. And I'm going to be writing my petition. And when you write this down, then what you're going to do is you're going to tape this to the inside of the jar with the writing up. So I wrote out my petition like this, and now I'm going to, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay down some tape here and on both ends. And what this is going to do is I'm going to put it on the inside of the jar, to where the writing does not show, because that way it keeps your spell private if somebody runs across your jar. Okay. Oh, where did I put the sticky stuff on that? Okay. Okay. So now my paper is in the jar at the very top. Now all you're going to do is you're going to pour the ammonia into the jar halfway up. Now at this point in time, I want to caution you that ammonia is highly caustic. It can be great when it's diluted for cleaning purposes and stuff like that, but in the full undiluted state, which is what you want to use for this spell, it needs to take with some precautions, and if you have sensitive skin and stuff, you might want to put on some rubber gloves, whatever, just so you don't spill it on yourself. I'm on a table that there's nothing here it can hurt if it spills a little bit on it, and I am pouring it in. Oops, see, I spilled a little bit. Okay, you pour the ammonia in at halfway. And you seal the jar tight. It's very important to seal the jar very, very, very tight. And now your spell is ready to begin. And basically all you do is have to state your intention very strongly into the spell work right before you turn the jar upside down. So, and then you turn it upside down. Now the paper is going to soak, and it is going to hold everything in here, and then you take this jar and you put it in a dark closet, and you keep it in there until the spell has done its work. So you can remove it from your closet or a dark cabinet or wherever you want to put it, is once the situation is as you want it to be. Now, the other thing that you should know about this kind of jar is about once the spell is working and the way you want it, how are you going to dispose of it? A lot of people tell you about the spells, but they don't always explain how you get rid of a spell after it's been completed, or when do you get rid of a spell. So I wanted to give you a little bit of information about that today as well too. You should give your bottle spell, and this is considered a bottle spell, a ritual disposal in an appropriate way, depending on what kind of work you did. Now, it may be buried under a doorstep if it was something that was, say, keeping someone off your property or from coming back into the house and causing you problems, or was some form of protection spell that you needed, and you might need that buried near your doorstep. It might go and be buried in a graveyard. Now, to be buried in a graveyard is going to be a real hardcore type of enemy that you might have to go to the lengths of burying it in a graveyard. And sometimes it might even be ancestry work as well too, I would think would be appropriate for a graveyard as well. But for the neutral way to dispose of most remnants of spells, you can walk to a crossroads, throw it into the crossroads, like say if it's even candle wax or, some kind of, the herbal remnants or anything like that. You can throw the remnants of the spell into the crossroads. And what you do is after you throw it into the crossroads, you just turn around and you never look back at the spell, you never look back at the crossroads, and you walk back. Now, you can also punch a hole in the lid, especially if it's a liquid spell too, or a spell that is a movement spell or a getaway spell. You can punch a hole in the top of the jar, and then you can let it pour into the water as it's being made to sink into water. So you can let it move down a sink, and you can fill a sink full of water, pour it into the sink and let it drain, and that would also signify and symbolize the movement or the getaway of the spell. Or you could flush it down a toilet if it was one of those kind of like getaway or move something bad away from you very quickly. Or you can keep it actually on your altar if it is something more, a spell that you wouldn't want it to end kind of thing, and you want to keep it safe in your altar or in an area where you might keep many active spell workings. If it's somebody that you're wanting to keep close to you, say a child, say, some kind of family member or something like that, you can also bury your jar in your backyard as well. And it will signify keeping them close to you or keeping them close to home, or, where they don't stray too far away from home, or they always find their way back home kind of thing. So there's lots of ways to dispose of a spell correctly. And I always hear about people telling you all about the spell work, but most people do not tell you what to do with the spell once it is completed to your satisfaction. So I hope that helps. And again, I want to caution you on the ammonia being caustic. That's why when I do this kind of spell work, I'm going to be using just this portable kind of plastic table that the ammonia is not going to hurt. But it can get on things like brass or metal and stuff like that and cause a corrosive reaction to it. You never want to mix it with bleach because that can cause a chlorine gas that can really make you pass out. It's very toxic. So you want to be careful when using ammonia. But this, it was very simple, easy, and just have a wet washcloth or something ready if you spill it on the surface, or if you've spilt it on a tool or some sort, you need to take that to the sink and really wash it with soapy water so that it stops the actual interaction between the two items, because sometimes ammonia can have that chemical reaction. So that's just a little bit of precaution, also the disposing, and also a very quick way of reversing any kind of situation that you have. Remember, it is important to put the spell work right side up, taped into the jar, and then as you turn it over, it symbolizes reversing the situation to what you want. And anything can be put in that petition. So it is a very quick and easy way, and a lot of times these spells work extremely rapidly, so it is a very fast moving spell as well too. So I hope that helps y'all. I hope y'all can get some use for it. I would like to say happy full moon tonight. This is going to be a super full moon, a harvest moon, and a blood moon, and a full lunar eclipse moon. So a lot of things happening, and it is going to be in the sign of Aries, which is about self, right butted up near Uranus, which is about sudden change and stuff like that. So it's going to be a very eventful full moon for personal growth and personal change as well. So just kind of keep those things in mind tonight when you're doing your full moon rituals, and remember to do something for yourself for a positive change in your life as well. So y'all have a wonderful day, and wonderful full moon blessings to all of y'all out there. And if y'all have any questions or comments, or if you'd like to know more about these kind of spells, just let me know and I'll do a few more of them, either on the Biophilic or on my own channel, Magiabella Nightspells. Either way, y'all have a wonderful, blessed day.